Today we're going to be taking a look at this small tube preamplifier, which is made by the company NF&J FX Audio, which is a Chinese company that specializes in they specialize in a range of small form factor hi-fi equipment such as tube preamplifiers, digital amplifiers, DACs, playback units, stuff like that. They sell on AliExpress, and their stuff is relatively inexpensive. I think this unit was around $40. It's a simple preamplifier with, as you see, it has a volume potentiometer, 2 tone controls, bass and treble, and a simple power switch. The model is the Tube-03. On the back, on the side, we have this quality control sticker which lists it as a Icairn NF&J FX Audio QC pass. On the back we have the inputs, which are just simple phono input, phono output, and DC 12 volt supply. The tubes themselves are socketed. These are the tubes that it came with. Guitar players love obsessing over particular brands of tubes for their amplifiers, and they know that particular tubes from different manufacturers give a different sound. The tubes by Philips and in America tubes by Sylvania are noted for giving, well, not I would say high quality, but a particular characteristic to the sound. Guitar players that like a particular tone will choose a particular tube. These tubes are, as I said, socketed, and each of the sockets does have a little LED which illuminates the tube. We're going to take this apart and see what's inside. So I'm going to transfer this off. And the dials have come off. See the front, so it's going to be held on. I'll touch off this. I'll do this. Now you quick pair of pliers. We can push it off. I think I believe these. For some reason it's probably sensible at the time. Yeah, I get them a lot. We get a lot of time. It's touching on by the way, I don't know if you call them clicky, but they do have defense. So the rotation is slightly rough. Which is, I don't know, it's clean. It's new. I know it's might feel like more expensive, I suppose. Also, this is an expensive unit. I'll listen to specifications calls later. So, I like it. It has a very high volume control on the desk for running monitors or power monitors or something like that. As a tube characteristic, that's the sound. That is outside my pay grade. I think it's doesn't sound whether you go for it, that. But it's front off. It's quite a thick front panel. This is aluminium. That's how thick it is. We can call them wrong. Carbon. It says it's massive stainless. 6.0. So the thick piece of it's only built to be CNC. That's a cool. And the front, we can see everything. I think we can pull the PCB out in front if we remove these rails here. So that doesn't take all the pounds away. And these Phillips. We have all that solid. Yeah. Also recommend using there seems to be replacing as a choice. But please have a video. So we can slide out PCB and have a look at it. It's marked here FX Tube-03 V8.0 2018-03-07, which was when this was made, I would assume, or when the PCB was made. I have seen one of these being opened and modified, and what I recall, these chips can be replaced with an aftermarket unit which is meant to provide a much better, I would say in the general terms, better quality of sound. I believe this is a filter, and the unit that you can replace it with comes as a box. This is an NE5532P. These ICs are NE5532P. One for each channel. We have a channel symmetrical layout, I guess. One channel, one channel, one channel, one channel. I would imagine channel comes in through here, up through the tube, in, back, around, and out. So input, input, output, 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 output. Channel 1, channel 2, channel 1, channel 2, channel 1, channel 2. That would be my assumption here. Yeah. Input channel, input channel, input channel, input channel, around. There are not many manufacturer names in evidence. As I said, this is a budget piece of equipment, so expectations need to be adjusted accordingly. The switch is switchy, you know. The potentiometers, as I said, have a gritty aspect to them, a detents. From their markings, the markings are B503, B502, B503, so they're dual gang potentiometers, marked on the back here as B50K. So 50K pots for the tune, and the volume pot is also marked as B50K, but it is different. As I said, the filters are NE553P, 5532P. These, that looks like a Texas Instruments logo, but I would not believe that. That is not a Texas Instruments logo. 19YLDZW, DZM, and a logo I cannot ascertain. We'll do a close-up of that. These filters are one micro, 250 volts. Is that a capacitor? Really? No, it's a capacitor. Sorry. For some reason I thought this would be a filter. It's a capacitor, 1 microfarad. These are marked as Samxon branded electrolytics. Oh, it's a little bit wobbly. That one's better. No venting, no. Well, obviously these would be used in a very low load capacity. They wouldn't be experiencing any high voltages or any sort of stress for audio use. So we're not seeing any evidence of any bulging or anything. I think we're past that phase in electronics anyway. Capacitors, I think, are a solved problem, but people still have worries about them due to the capacitor venting issues in the past that blew up so many PCs. Obviously we have a power stage here. This looks like I would imagine this is a DC to DC converter, because we're taking 12 volts DC in. Where's the backplate? Backplate DC 12 volts. I guess. Oh, of course, for the tubes. We need more voltage for the tubes. So this is going to be an inverter and some sort of drive circuitry for the tubes. A DC to, would it be AC for tubes? DC to DC, some sort of step-up voltage. We have an inductor there, we have a transistor here, and we have a drive. So this is an SMPS, basically with smoothing on the outputs. What voltage coming out of it? I guess we can measure that part. It's an interesting piece of equipment. It's, as I said, I like it mostly as a volume control. If you are using powered monitors, which I think just about everybody is doing these days, it's nice to have a control on the desk where you can simply reach for your volume. Having a physical control is much better than having something in software, because it's simply put, when you turn it off, you know that it's off, and it's going to stay off, and you're not going to have to reach for it in an emergency. In an embarrassing situation, you aren't going to be surprised to it. If it's turned off, it's off, and that's very important. Much like a webcam, you don't want it coming on. when you don't want it to be on.
I'd just like to end this video with some close-up shots of the PCB so you can see some of the components I was referring to. This is my first video of this nature, so I haven't quite got the close-ups figured out yet. So we'll do some stills the old-fashioned way. This will give you an idea of the quality of the PCB and the silk screening and the, well, not only silk screening anymore, the quality of the construction, which I would say is good. Everything is well soldered, it's neat, it's tidy. The components, as you said, this is a budget unit, so you're not expecting or seeing name brand components, but everything seems certainly well soldered, neatly done, and the design is quite efficient. That's the power supply there. As I said, it is a SMPS of some sort. That's showing you the sockets and the small IC, the filters. I'm going to end this with a close-up of the tubes themselves, which are 6K4. The manufacturer is not a logo I recognize, and unfortunately I can't do the Chinese characters, but I've managed to photograph them enough that they are showing up. So if anybody knows what manufacturer these tubes are, please let us know. Like I said, I'm going to be doing another teardown. I have some more equipment by this manufacturer, so stick around and we'll do the next one, and we'll try and make this one a little more professional. Thanks.